Should I start?
I'm just switching light stream
Your audio is not good, I think.
on. Very good afternoon, friends. I welcome to this very interesting meeting for young optometrists and optometry leaders who are going to be guided by senior most people in this optometry profession. And we also have Professor S. Natarajan to guide us in this forum. Now, this program is for students and the leaders who wish to take forward future optometry leadership. Without wasting many time, I wish to invite Professor Monica Chaudhary ma'am to address today's meeting.
Hello, a very good afternoon to everybody. I think it's a historical day for me, especially for all those years in my career. We've always looked forward to something getting together. So another advantage of our lockdowns and free time that we see a forum today, which is here to not, which is here bringing in the students, educators, and leaders from all over the country together with a cause which is for everybody. So on behalf of OET, this thought was brought in, and this thought was first initiated by Siddharth. And of course, we already have Rashid, who's been running this at a very local level. So this thought is simply because we felt that there is a need for the students all across the nation now to get together for not a political cause, but for a cause where we understood that each one needs to educate themselves. We all need education. We all need to upgrade ourselves. Whatever we read through years back is all obsolete. So even the professionals need to know there is scarcity of faculty, and that is the biggest challenge we find these days in education. So wherever we have the best of experts, we come in together through this forum or platform, if we can form, to bring in the levels of each one at par and understanding the future needs that are coming through. This is where we are all here gathered to take this discussion forward and lead to a conclusion today. I'm proud that Dr. Natarajan is here with us, and he's committed and volunteered to be with us. Of late, we have seen his love and passion, and we are really honored to have him with us. So we welcome you, sir, and we welcome you. We look forward to your guidance and mentorship always, as you have been doing to optometry. I would like to introduce you. The first name is KK Siddharth. He's an optometrist who graduated from Elite School of Optometry and went for his post-graduation in Manipal. He has presented and has passion not only as a clinician, as an academician, and many research projects and other things also which he has carried forward. He's traveled abroad, and he's the one who finally brought in this idea. So all this meeting that we see today is because of his concept and idea, and we acknowledge his thought to appreciate it that he brought us together. He only initiated the thought to say the country needs all the students to get together for the benefit of education. So we welcome you, Siddharth, and thank you for giving us all this idea that started with. With us today is also Rashid, who is a final year intern in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. He's already been doing what we are talking today, but at a local level at AIIMS. Some of us who have been, in fact, we are also part of AIIMS alumni, but we are really proud to see this young leader, Rashid, with us, who had driven conferences and education platforms for several years now, and he brought everybody together. This was this team of small optometrist student leaders who brought in such big change in education. So we welcome you, Rashid, and we love to hear from you and your inputs to take this forward. Without wasting much time, I would now pass on the mic to actually understand how we are going in. The first is the presentation, who's the initiator of all this, coming in from Siddharth KK. Over to you, Siddharth.
Okay. Uh, Thank you everyone for making this happen today. So it is like without everyone's like-minded approach, it would have happened today. So and it is like I have special thanks to Ajit sir, Monica ma'am, and Rajesh sir who had made it happen in a short span. So it is like today what I'll just do is I'll just explain why this idea had came in, and then it is like I have got some questions through message and phone call. So I'll just give an answers to that so that everyone will be clear, and then I'll just walk you through how this committee or an association will go through in the future. So it is like we all know what is the current situation in India with respect to optometry in getting recognized, and it is like as many are here for them to better understand, I'll just give a brief what is the actual problem. So it is like uh, we in India we doesn't have a proper recognition for optometrist, and when you go for the root cause of it, it is basically a how and because we have got unequal education in across India. So this is majorly because of uh, colleges and institutes where they have train optometrists in the case of with not proper infrastructures. So the question which is being raised because of this is why an individual or a student should get affected for mistake which is being done by an institute or an organization. Okay, so it is like when we get a solution right from a student's level, so it is like students should start claiming their own rights for equal education and proper exposure. So when this happens, it is like maybe from 10 years from down the line, everything will be fine. It's like I have also got questions that it is like once the bill is being passed, everything will be normal. So my answer will be as long as students are going to be the issues with students are going to be there. Okay, so I think this is a reason why we actually want to get this idea positive in the future. So next is what is the difference between ASCO and other students wing of other association. ASCO has clearly stated that it is like it will support or assist an educational institute in better teaching methods, and then they will go with incorporating problem based study methods and etc. So it is like doesn't have any, they haven't clearly stated anything about how they are going to solve any student's issue, and that is the same with other students wings of other associations as well. So and coming to our educators as educators are like us. So it is like as an optometrist, we all know there are many issues with many institutes across the nation, and even though if you want to ask as an employee, we are restricted at many levels. So it is like even if as an employee or optometrist, if you want to go and ask an institute just shows hand towards a university, and universities towards the policies of a state and national. So and it just goes just like that. So as an employee and practicing optometrist, we are little helpless to solve at the institute level. Okay, so that is a then coming to other questions which was being asked is how this particular association or committee will go in forward in the future. It is like, so what I want to say in this is this will be an individual body which will not be controlled by any educators or any optometry professionals who are leading it, because it is like myself and my friend might be leading it today. So in case if there is a conflict of opinion in the later stage, I don't want students to get divided because of that particular issue. And it is like we as an optometrist, we might be separated like states and by profession, like a educator and a private practitioner, but students are going to be students across nation. However, whatever they do. So it is like that is a huge workforce where you can't be divided, and they will be under single umbrella named students. So it is like, so what is the purpose of, or what are we supposed to do as an educator and the professionals? We will be mentoring them in case of a like forming an educational committee and political on their request. When a student approaches you for your wisdom, you are supposed to advise them for them to move forward further to take a better steps. So as a student committee, they will have a separate committees like academics, innovation, and research or scholarship, etc. So it is like across the nation, that will be that will be implemented, so that every student is getting some kind of justice in many aspects. So there's like other questions which were raised is whether the PG students will be involved or not. It is like, as long as students are going to be, they are students, they will be students. But everything depends on how on the students committee which is going to be formed. It is like their own decision whether to include as a PGs as a student, or I mean into a committee, or as a into a governing committee. So these are the things which I want. And one thing which I want to stress upon is there will be no control over this particular body by any other professions other than mentoring and favoring how to go with them. How so that it is like the students group will never get divided. So the reason why I actually want to stress upon is all students should be aware of the politics, but not be influenced by the politics. So it is like, so, and to conclude, I just want to say it is like what we educate today is going to rule us tomorrow. So let us expose students to everything, so that they will be a better survivor, and then they will be a better decision maker, independent decision maker. And only when we expose them to what is wrong and right, they will be able to decide on what is right. So that is the reason why we actually want to club up all the students together, and then see what is going across the nation, and what is the problem they are facing, so that they will have a support as well to overcome their problems in their respective institute. And it is like there are many institute who are masking themselves that it is like they are part of this association, they are this part of this association. It is like, but when we ask for standards, this is how they just escape. So these things are the one which just comes out, and then the students, when they ask their justice and rights for their own, everything is going to happen smooth over a span of 10 years. If your education is correct, and towards the 10 years, everyone is going to be equal. Because the major problem now why we are segregated like different pockets of thing is just because we didn't have an equal education across the nation. So that's the only thing which I want to stress upon. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Siddharth. I think these are excellent thoughts, and you have set the ball rolling. So I will have a couple of other now. All of us who are sitting here, we are been muted intentionally to let the flow go smooth. We'll have our speakers speak in first, but at the same time, whenever any one of you, whether it is in the panel in the Zoom or all those who are watching live on YouTube, please continue to post your questions for discussion, which will come up soon after we have these thoughts heard from these leaders. So continue to post, raise hand or chat box, or posting your questions in it. So Karthikeyan, I think you have actually spoken very well and said the intentions are clear. We are not at all looking at a body which is going to be a more political one, but it is for the benefit. So here I would like to invite Rashid, who has already been doing this, who has created a students association at AIMS. So we would like to listen from him also and share his experience on what all activities and how it has brought in the benefit at the local level that he has been working. he was doing. So Rashid, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Ajit sir. Thank you so much, Rajesh sir, for giving me this opportunity. I was the president of Optometry Student Association last session. So, few things that I want to include is Karthik has already included most of the points that so many associations are saying that there should be student wing in all the already existing uh, associations of the professionals. What I feel is this set of problems are totally different for students and professionals. Professionals have a different set of challenges, students are having different set of challenges. For a student, it's more important about his academics, class, posting, exposure, because it's the career of the student that is at stake. Mostly the most of the professionals, they are settled somewhere, so they are not, means these are not their problems, but the students, they are having their own problem regarding, means their own set of problems. They need to be empowered so that their concerns are heard, their concerns are listened. So for that, what we need is we need to connect each and every college of this country, because when we were operating it at OSA at AIMS, so every single day we used to receive a lot of messages from different colleges of India that means I cannot name those colleges here, but what all messages we received was that and we what we interpreted from all those messages, that in most of the optometry colleges, this syllabus is never covered. Never. Classes are not taken properly. No clinical, means not enough clinical postings. But if students complain, then means first of all, there is nobody to listen. If somebody raises their voice, tries to raise their voice, they are harassed in various ways in the name of marks, viva, TC, transfer certificate. There means every kind. There are so many challenges they face while raising their voice, which are valid. They are paying a huge amount of fees every year, but but what they should get in return of that fees, they are not getting that, the education. So that, and what I personally believe is, until and unless the education system is improved, the standard of the profession can never improve, because means the world is not full. We all, means the world knows very well, the market knows very well that how much education we are getting. If we are coming with a 2 years training, nobody is going to treat us like a healthcare professional, just like the MBBS doctors who are getting a 5 year training with proper classes and postings. And sadly, the responsible persons for this totally messed up education system are our own optometrists only. We there are the faculties or the, it means I'm not saying that everyone is like that, but at most of the places, the in charges are the optometrists. And the real challenge is to change the mindset, perception, and intention of our own optometrists towards the education of optometry students. And that's why students association must be totally separate from the professionals association, because the set of challenges are totally different for students, and only students will raise them, because it's their career that is at stake. So that means this was what I felt. And at the local level, when we operated, we interacted with students from different colleges, and what we found is that these are the common problems that are there in each and every college, be it in a less amounts, means in some colleges the problem is smaller, in some colleges the problem is huge. Means even there are, I have connected to some colleges where students are called 9 a.m. in the morning, and throughout the day they just sit in their classes. No teacher comes, no postings happen, and uh, around 4 or 5 p.m. they just go back to their home and hostel or PG. Throughout the day they just sit in their classrooms and nothing happens. This happens. So uh, in 2017, I means at that time the president of our association, Optometry Student Association, was Mr. Lakshya Arora. So I and Lakshya sir, um, we had felt this need of a national association for the welfare of the students. So I would like to request the host to allow me share a document, a PPT that we made in 2017 at that time, that how can we connect each and every student at a single platform.
Okay. Oli, please permit, give him that right. Rashid, we really find it very interesting, and we see a young leader in you. Is Lakshya also with you here today on this panel?
No, ma'am. Actually, Lakshya sir is at his home. He is not here.
Okay, next
Okay.
time we would love
Rashid,
to
you
have
can
him
try
as
to,
you both did it. Yeah, Rashid, you can share the screen now.
yeah, share this.
Yes, Rashid, are you sharing screen?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just finding the.
Okay. Everybody else, please connect with your chat box till he's doing. I think it's interesting overall to see the students' perspective. And I remember when we were also students, of course, our challenges were very wide, and our teachers were our seniors. So till date, it is Rajesh sir and Ajit sir for me, because our teachers were these. And I think 30 years down the line, I don't see that change. Students have mostly been committing that we lack educators. And that is our perspective as university institution heads. I'll give you my perception also at the end. It's not that we don't want to bring in, but there is a challenge at that end to bring in educators also. So Rashid, we are waiting for you to share the screen. And once you're done, let us know.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just trying to find the. Just give me
Okay.
1 minute.
Meantime, ma'am, we should take somebody else or let Ajit sir to comment upon.
Yeah.
And Rashid can try. I think I've allowed him to share the.
Okay. So Rashid, should we go on or you're able to? We'll come back to you again. We'll love to hear a lot more from you, because it's really excellently put in thoughts, and we are here to really help you all. And that's our intention today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Please go on. I will just find the document and I will.
Okay, so till then, what we will do, you just get ready and raise your hand or put in the chat box when you're ready. Let me pass on the forum now to Ajit sir. You've heard, Ajit sir, you've heard both of them. You've heard what Kartike's idea was, the objective was to bring in this forum. And you've heard some of the challenges what Rashid has been bringing in as there. I will also put in my perspective at a later end as an educator and as an institution head. But I would like you now to bring in some more thoughts, combining in and bringing in why this forum and what all can be done, listening to understanding the problems and what all, how from here, where we can take it in future. So over to you, Mr. Ajit
Well,
Bharadwaj.
thank you, Monica, and thank you, Siddharth, for bringing out this excellent idea. And one morning I woke up and I saw a WhatsApp from an unknown number, and I opened it, and the message said, "Sir, I am Siddharth Karthikeyan, and I want to help in forming a student optometry association in the country." So I was wondering who is this guy? And I started looking at his credentials. He's a young faculty from one school in Tamil Nadu and teaching. I said, young guy like this having such a brilliant idea, there must be something deeper into it. And I realized that he is son of a good friend of mine, Mr. Karthikeyan, who is one of the past president and maybe a very active member in Tamil Nadu Indian Optometry Associations. Then I could recollect, the idea is very much deeper than what I thought. And it is an idea that came from a family of optometrists. And I started thinking more into it. Came back to my recent experience with Optometry Student Association at AIMS this January ending. I was invited to speak at AIMS in their Optometry Student Association forum by Rashid. And I was so moved that after 44 years of passing out from an institutions, I was asked to speak as a guest speaker. And after that, somebody asked me, what is your vision for this body? And I told them they should go and form a national association. That was this January and in 2020. And then I recollected both of said that I have seen this idea doing very well in other parts of the world. And student optometry associations are very prosperous, very strong and powerful optometry associations in other parts of the world. Why can't we initiate this idea? And I told Siddharth to form a Telegram group. He said, "Sir, let's start small. We start with a WhatsApp group." I said, "Very soon we will cross that." And within 3 days, we could not contain all of them, and now we're on a Telegram group. See, the idea of these association is to nurture young leaders like Rashid, like Siddharth, like many other optometrists, because leadership teaches us to cope up at a young age. A leadership like a student optometry association, which is finishing just after your graduation or after your post-graduation, will teach you how to serve a profession. Because at that age, you are so much passionate about your professions and you forget everything else, and your academic teaching is most important. And this is why this body needs a unique distinction and a unique powers to take the profession forward. This is very important that optometry practices in its full sight, because so far, whether you were a diploma or a degree holder, nobody knew your rights. Now with ASP bill defining your education for 3,600 hours, giving you a price, giving you a tag of a healthcare profession, it is very important that we need to respect that title and must form a body which is very, very crucial at this point of time. When I say crucial at this point of time means when you are going to have an exam which is uniform for all of the country, how a student who doesn't have sufficient faculty, sufficient infrastructure, sufficient teaching methodology, sufficient instrumentation in his institution is cope up with the rest of that. You have to think as Rashid said, that students should not be penalized for their inaction of the institutions. Institutions may have their own problem, but why should the students be punished for it? So this body will create a uniformity at the student level, understanding the gap where the particular institution is facing the challenge, where the institutions are having the gap in their teaching. And those are the gaps which we, as an outsider, we will not be part of this body. And we have formed a group of volunteer educators, like from every school. And I will appreciate Dr. Natarajan to give us some ophthalmology volunteers too into this educator forum, who will be ready to help and support these institutions, support these students who doesn't have sufficient skill, sufficient privilege of being in institutions as other privileged institutions are, and bring all of them at par. Otherwise, what will happen, this exit exam will only serve only the top institutions, and rest the institutions are going to suffer. In a time like this, when our education is not matching, look at the challenges what our next generation of optometry will feel if they don't have sufficient knowledge of telemedicine. I was just listening to some of the WhatsApp messages. Most of the WhatsApp messages you see, they don't really understand the difference between what is telehealth, what is telemedicine, what is teleoptometry, what is teleophthalmology, and use anything what they feel like is appropriate. This kind of teaching has to come in. The practice of telemedicine has become so much importance in optometry curriculum, in optometry practice, that everything has to change, and the curriculum what we have needs to adjust to the need of students of today. Understanding the need what COVID-19 has given to us or students, the kind of practice what they need to learn. If our interns go in the same phase or in the same teachings, they will not be able to perform. Those those teachings have to be incorporated in our curriculum. And who could be more concerned than the students? Are we as educators? No. We will only have compulsion if there is a pressure from students, pressure from the university grant commissions that incorporate into our teachings. So it's very important that we, as a facilitator, make sure that there is a body which is created for students, by students. This body will have two kind of pillars. One will be educators wing, other will be a kind of advocacy wing. Advocacy wing, how? This advocacy wing will not have any interference, but if the students feel to consult, to take help on any political matter, they can seek help. Otherwise, this advocacy body will again be their kind of support. The educators group could consist of all educators, could consist of ophthalmologists, optometrists, could be any educators who seek that I can provide help to any institutions in any part of the country, wherever my need could be met, wherever my need can help, my practice of optometry, my education can help students, I'll be eager to help. So if you have those pillars to support and a national body in the center, and every state, I understand there are states where you have many optometry schools. All those schools need to come and form one state body. There could be states where you don't have any schools. There is no need to form a student body in that institution, because how does it change? We were thinking that we are creating a kind of parallel competition between associations. No, students will only be your member of this body till they are students. Immediately they pass out, they join the professional optometry association of that state. So with those understanding and with those clarity, we have to move in a direction that there is no competition. All the state professional associations continue to exist. This student body is for students, by students, and will remain focused on students, academic or the advocacy. There will be no interference, neither political nor in education, but we will facilitate our work wherever the need of this body become. So with that clear understanding, as Siddharth said, whether it will be for masters or PhD or bachelors, that will be for state to decide. If your state school does have a master's degree, it can include those batches. It could include them as members. But if you don't have a master's in that state, there's no need to create that unnecessary position for that. So every state will be free, every school will be free to join the state body, and state body comes and plays a very equally important role in the national, and this national body represents all the students to the advocate wing, to the educators wing, and to the government. I see a big gap between industry and the students, not between the student, but the industry what wants and the education what we have. That gap need to finish. That gap need to merge. What we teach today in institutions doesn't apply to the industry. Industry is moving very, very fast. If you look at the contact lenses practice today, what we learn, what we practice today is not what we learn in our school. That gap will definitely be minimized if the industry and this optometry student associations work together, not leave the politics out of it. We are not here for political purpose. We have to bridge the gap between the industry and the students teaching, students learning, and so that optometrists can participate to its full potential. Thank you. That's my vision, and that's where we will provide our support, and we'll continue to support as long as it helps the optometry students associations, and continue to provide our input into it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ajit sir. So a clarity again to everybody that this is a student's body which will have, it's like an academy where we have a student's vertical and we have an educators who are volunteers. We also will have educators from all the industry or anybody who is part of it, so that everybody who can contribute, and even ophthalmology. In fact, whatever insights Dr. Natarajan brought about telemedicine, if we have to execute it, we need to bring in that as part of the curriculum, what you rightly said. And we need leaders and mentors to teach this body and then do the execution. We also need a platform where universities adopt and bring in the change in the required needs based on the needs. So we do understand this is student's body, and this is, as one passes out, he enters into the state associations as a professional. So this is academic and this is the other. However, some rights of students and other protections can be done. In fact, it is very common. I would have a vague text coming in from right from south, from a student saying that is this right? Should we study this? Should I go in for a post graduation? These are the forums which answer at a general level to these questions. And of course, now I would request if Rashid, you are ready, we would take up your presentation. Before, there are many questions which are pouring in the chat box, and there are many leaders who are amongst us today. And Rajesh sir will moderate that session. But before that, we will have your presentation done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So over to you, Rashid.
Yes, ma'am. I have shared it.
Yes.
Is this presentation visible?
Yes, we can see it. Yes, we can see it.
Yes, ma'am. So in 2017, as I said, the then president, Mr. Lakshya Arora. So Lakshya Arora sir and I, we formed. We felt the need of a nationwide network of optometry students, where each and every student is connected to each and every other student of the country. Means, or be they means they can be from any part of the country, but if they are having a problem, they are heard or they are listened by someone. So at that time, we named it as All India Optometry Students Welfare Association, and this was the basic structure that we formed at that time. We divided the entire nation into 5 zones: the South Zone, East Zone, Central Zone, West Zone, and North Zone. And according to the zones, we divided the states into these 5 zones. And then there was then we thought that every college in a state will have a executive member of the association in that college, and all the executive members of a state or all those states of that zone will be will be under a general secretary of that zone, and the general secretaries of these 5 zones will report to the president. The president will be in touch of the chief advisory committee, and the chief advisory committee will be of the professionals means who are not the means the who will be the mentors or the advisors, but they will not be any faculty of any college. So this was the rough that we made at that time. So am I clear with this thing? Because even I also forgot something, because it was what we made 3 years ago. And then we made post description that how each and every post will be selected or elected, and what will be the duties, how will be the elections held. This was something that we made at that time according to our understanding at that time.
Okay. So I think that's excellent a question here, Rashid. So you created this body at a national level, but did you have representations from different states also?
Ma'am, I didn't. We just created the blueprint. Then we didn't
you created it, but you could not execute it. Okay.
We
okay.
never.
I think we can.
Could you ask Dr. Natarajan to have few words on this, what we are doing and how he can mobilize, or how he can guide students to take it forward?
Yes, we can actually look into mobilizing this hard work, which has been preliminary hard work, which has been done to take it further. Okay, Rashid, we'll come back to you. And I would now, because we have quite a lot of panel and senior people, and we would like to listen to them, because today's forum, so you may just stop sharing your screen and we'll have everybody on it, because we really want to come to a conclusion where everybody is, consensus is there, and we know the objectives can be defined very well of this body which we are proposing to form or continue to form. So Rajesh sir, I would request you, there are certain questions which have come in chat box, to please moderate that part of discussion, and you may invite the speakers accordingly. Ollie, at the other hand, I would request you to please bring in the YouTube chat questions
Sure.
also,
I think
or something
Mr.
which comes in.
Jayanto Bhattacharjee is in queue since a long time.
So let Rajesh sir moderate the session. He is
Sure.
read through the chat box. You moderate the YouTube sessions.
Done.
Yeah, Rajesh sir, over to
Thank
you.
you, Professor Monica. Wonderful to be here with the youth, and so much energy. Concerns seem to be same as they were when we were students, but yes, they continue. What I see is, as soon as Siddharth and Rashid spoke, already the chat box was getting full, like Musab said, agreed to the most points. There is another side to it. And then Munna Kumar says it is very difficult to find out the best optometry educators. What we should, I guess, do towards the end of this is, we all need to resolve this, and an organization structure has been given by Rashid that may be utilized, may be tweaked to another more applicable thing to today's scenario, and we can create a steering committee which will steer the whole system towards creation of this. That is one part. But what I observe here is that mostly the problems are coming in which are related to lack of faculty or lack of resource. If we can form this kind of group, it will be great to have one university's excellent educator in the field of optics be teaching another university's students, and orthoptics faculty teaching this university. We have all got used to Zoom and many other methods, and it can be more easy. Similarly, if one particular university has an OCT and another doesn't have, one can always have these students go from one to other. But that apart, coming on to what all is going on in our chat box, I would like first of all Meenakshi to come in and about her question. Can you unmute Ms. Meenakshi, please?
No, I think I have to allow.
I think Jayanta is waiting, Rajesh sir. So Jayanta can bring in the thought.
Okay, Jayanta, please come in, because your message was not there in chat box. Please come in, Jayanta.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This I think wonderful meeting is going on. So right now we are in a juncture that we are seeing that we are a very lucky person, that we are seeing that changes which is happening in the optometry profession, like the other profession. See, the similar way also, Ajit sir, whatever he told, that whenever he was there, he did not learn the things what is he is doing right now. It's, most of us are same thing only. So whatever we have learned in our schools, and we are doing very much different when we are seeing the patients. So this is one way. The another way is that the universities and everything, we don't have a common minimum curriculum placed right now. So this is one point. If we have a common minimum curriculum placed, and more we are onto the learning objectives are being, as I think across all the universities, all the colleges, learning objectives are same, and we are more into evidence-based teaching, then I think problem is going to be solved. Another way is that we can form another platform which can be a common learning platform for the students. That can be in a countrywide. You can produce a common learning platform. Whatever the students are not getting into the colleges or classes, they can have it from the common that platform. So the faculties may help there. So I think Monica ma'am and all the faculty, senior faculties, most of the senior faculties can join in this common minimum platform, and the student can seek their advice from this platform, or a learning what they want to learn. They can also place that into that
I think
platform
we,
and they can learn it. That's my point.
Thank you. I think that's where we all look into. Yes, Rajesh sir, you would like to bring in the next speaker?
yeah. Can you please unmute Miss Meenakshi Jha? She had a query. Miss Meenakshi, please introduce yourself as you speak.
Yeah, I'm trying to connect.
Ollie will have to, Ollie has 100 people to find the name.
Yes,
So
it
I think
starts with Jha.
you give in the next name also. You give in the
Okay, Meenakshi Jha and then Zishan,
next
of
name
course.
so that he's ready and he finds them.
Zishan and
Okay,
Meenakshi, please.
Hi, sir.
Yes, Meenakshi.
Sir, that was just a point which was kept by me that we had points from students that we lack educators. But then what I find that it should be an equal sort of, students should also give their best to understand. We should not only keep pointing educators that they are not doing their best. That's what I felt, because at this point of time, I'm a student also and I'm teaching also. So sort of I understand both the point. That is it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's typically every educator's thought to say, "Hum to padha rahe hain, tum bhi pad lo." Yeah.
Yes, that's always been there. So if Zishan can be brought in, and then I like Usman Memon, a very senior and learned educator. He has a point of view also. And
Hello, sir.
Zishan, yes.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for this opportunity. I have been listening to all the speakers, and sir, I would like to give my background a little bit. I'll take a few minutes to bring up to my point. So I have started my education in optometry as a diploma holder from Uttar Pradesh, Kanpur, and from there I pursued my bachelor's and then my MPhil. I've seen almost all level of education which has been given in India or provided in India at different levels. What my understanding so far is, at each level or the minimum requirement in terms of the optometry education in India is concerned is basically the infrastructure and the requirements in terms of the clinical learning. And I feel most of the institutions these days have this basic a requirement which is required for the optometry education, but students also needs to put yourself up a little bit to understand that everything starts from the basics. Yes, I understand that they have their high demands as well, that they should get all the high facilities, but I feel those basic equipments and the basic learning can happen at their college level if their sincerity has to be bring in on the is to address little bit about more. So I feel in terms of the requirements, in terms of the your mentors which is and their education or in their knowledge is concerned, I feel we are good enough equipped with those people and with those educators who can at least bring us to the education of optometry which is required to run a good clinical setup of optometry, provide a good eye care services. So I don't feel any need in terms of the basic knowledge or the education which is required in terms of optometry. Of course, when it comes to master's level or PhD level, we need to push ourselves a little bit in terms of the research, but I feel as far as the clinical understanding and learning is concerned, we are equipped enough to understand and learn all these things from all the educators which we have in India.
Great. I think concept
so much,
is
sir.
fine, and there'll be more comments coming in on your statements. Do we have Usman Menwan?
Yes,
Usman?
he's there.
Yes, I can see him there. And then next, I'd like to hear Hamza Qureshi. If you can only find out his unmute him for the time being while Usman takes over. Usman, please come in.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Usman sir, your voice is not audible.
I'm audible.
Yep, coming now.
Audible now?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you, Usman.
Hello.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. From
Yes, you're
today's
clear.
introductory part, what I understood was there are three folds or aspects which have been discussed. By Shri and Rashid, what they discussed was about educators area and students area. But the main problem, what I feel is the universities or institution which have to play role, probably which is taken care to some extent by ASCO, as circulation and understanding of institutes is a big issue by ASCO. Every institute do not have a furnished infrastructure, including faculty. But when institutes are registered to any university, they have their own protocols and norms. And if institutes are registered through those universities, then institute need to follow these norms where student forum cannot work more. So it's a separate issue. We cannot combine. Students cannot overrule an university, and yes, they can portray what they are facing problems. Number two, current generation is so exposed to during admission itself, they know what institute is, what rapport institute have in the market. And after taking an admission, probably if they are saying there are issues with institute, they should report it to the institute and institute should solve it. As a committee or a national body, I'm not getting that vision. How a national body is going to help solve somewhere institute which is somewhere in south. Over to all other seniors, what they have the idea about. But this is what I feel. There are three folds, and three folds have to be taken care: educators, students, and institutes. Over to you all.
Thank you. That is again a learning, and we must look at all aspects as we move on. And do we have Hamza Qureshi? Professor Vishal Madan, he's also.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, Hamza. Yes, come in, Hamza.
Okay, so what I understand from student body, basically across everywhere, be it pure sciences, be it other healthcare professionals, students body, they are basically to interact with each other, grow their network and move ahead in their professional lives. Student bodies never dictate or rule over what the institute has to offer. It is monitored through universities, it is monitored through state councils and educational bodies. So it is very difficult for a student body to come up with problems. It can be tackled at an institute level. They can report to their HODs, their management, and if the governing student educational bodies like ASCO or state councils, which will be formed in future, I think it is their role to clamp down on such organization and institute which are not imparting or following minimum education standards. So that is the only way out. As far as the student body is concerned, national student body, it is a very good idea. We should have one national student body to grow their network, interact with each other, exchange their thought, and move ahead in professional life. That's all.
Thank you, Hamza. What I observe here is while the students say that they are not able to move ahead and the barrier is the faculty says the barrier is the student, and we need to find a solution so that the students can progress and faculty is also helped out. I like to hear Professor Vishal Madan, and what I see in my chat box, mostly the questions are from the mentor to come into the the students to say more. And this Professor Vishal Madan is last in my queue here. Oli, you can get ready from what is coming up on YouTube after this.
In fact, before Dr. Vishal points out, I would say that the concerns of educators are very right. But here we are not looking at a political kind of antagonizing between the universities. As Ajit sir had rightly pointed out, we're looking at educational resource and upgrading. I think that was the thought Karthik had also, Siddharth had thought so when he had brought in.
Very,
so,
very
over to you, Vishal. Of course, it's very important, and I was very keen that he joins in.
Thank you so much for having me. These are very, very valid points which students have put. And as Monica ma'am, Rajesh sir, Ajit sir is there, Usman is there, Jayanta is there, Mahadev is there. I know so many people who have already been first a student and then an educator. So we have the same blood running in our body, in our veins, which you have gone through, and we will never like to, suppress your new ways of going forward. In fact, I would put it in a way that you are our lifeline, or you are the energy in our blood, and that is why we all are so much dedicated towards this level of education, and we will always love to have the feedback from you. Well, coming to the points which Kartigan has said, that there are a lot of institutes, there is a lot of problems in with the educators, and there's a problem with peers. I think that was also a very important point which he missed it. So my suggestion would be very simple, that we should have a national forum, and as Rashid has said very rightly, that we should not involve any current educators, because they will always have element of bias, prejudice in the kind of forums, because they will always look for their point of view and probably put it through. Well, that is the beauty of our education system, that after parents, the teachers are taken at the same level of the citadel, where you treat your teachers. And I request and I hope that with all the educators here, that they live up to the expectations of the students. And now, as I pointed out in the chat also, there are a lot of ways and methods to resolve these issues at your institute level. Of course, that doesn't mean that you should never be involved. The larger knowledge you have, the larger forum you have, the more educated you are. And as they say, knowledge is power, and which is where I want to say that you should always have a lot of interaction. My point, what I'm trying to come to, is that there should be an in-house body where you should be given a free, unbiased, confidential access to certain peoples of the university, which are there over the educators. Like we have our, as I've said in the chat box, we have a quarterly faculty review performance meeting, where the ratings are given, confidentiality is maintained by the students to each and every educator in 8 parameters. If you want that, I can share it with the permission, and that can be implemented at your education level, where a child, a student of first year to fourth year and PG, is given his free flow of thoughts to incorporate whatever he thinks, whether he is thinking right or wrong, and has to be solved like a father to a son, or a mother to a son. And it, no matter how silly may be the allegation, no matter how much we. So what we have learned to be an educator is to first be patient and be focused in solving the problems. That is my first level of action, which I'll ask you, the each and every educator. I think many are doing that at very basic level. This is the requirement of UGC. Monica madam and others will definitely agree that we have, but we should have an easy access and a confidential access. Second thing is, we, as we know that there is, जैसे बोलते हैं कि ताली दोनों हाथ से बजती है. So it is very simple that it depends on who starts this level of courtesy, understanding, politeness, and your professional ethics first. We have already learned as a teacher to be courteous and patient, and always have a proper mode of language, no matter how the student may react. So similar kind of ethics and basic manners is expected from students. What we have seen over is that there is a high level of testosterone, which is very true, because you're teenagers, and you have a lot of hormones which are running through. But then there's always a way. I have seen in my student years, when I had problems, when I approached in a very professional, polite manner, 99.9% of my problems were solved, and I was a much happier student and a happier human being. So there is a level of students' responsibilities and duties towards the institution, towards the teaching, non-teaching staff, and your peers, your seniors or juniors. So that is called a student charter. We have that student charter which has been put on all the classroom, which states what is your rights and what is your duties, which is expected from minimum from you to run a very cordial, congenial environment. That is my second point. Thank you.
Excellent, Professor
I think
Vishal.
I would add to
You
Vishal.
can share that
We are right
particular
to say,
criteria.
Vishal, we're not looking at that kind of thing, I think. We're not looking at that kind of
If you
thing. The
can
discipline is
share that on the group.
Sure,
and then the mentors on the group can advise this to their universities. That may solve something.
Yes.
Over to you, Oli, for any questions on the YouTube.
Oh, I think we have
Quite a
answered all the questions. Only
repeat
one is
there. In
pending.
fact, all the questions are quite similar.
Correct. So one thing remaining is the uniform syllabus for every institution, because every institution has a different course of syllabus. How to solve that issue?
Say simple
I know
is
there is a
as the government comes out with laws, the syllabus will anyways become uniform. It's what I would like, or maybe Ajit sir can take over here and find out if we can have a small 2 or 3 or 4 people right now found out who can steer it further and then activate the group, and then we gradually narrow down to real people who will work towards creation of such a forum. Ajit sir, can you please help on
Ajit
that?
sir, over to you.
You see, I'm very grateful to all the educators who have put their point of view. But what I am not an educator. I come from industry. I see a huge gap between what I want from my optometrist and what quality of optometrist I am getting into it. So I know that there is a gap. And that gap is not just addressed by me, that's addressed by the whole optical, optometry, and the whole industry and the whole profession. There is a gap which we must understand, and that gap remains in or not only in optometry, but other healthcare professions too, because we don't meet the need of present. Our curriculum don't adjust to the need of present. It takes very long time. We make one common optometry program, and then when association wakes up after 15 years, then after that 15 years, that may or may not be changed. This is the way our education is going, and that's the full credit to educators to follow that curriculum, and UGC follows the same. But what we need at present is how do we change and adjust to the present need? And that only the students know, the industry knows. Educators are, their job is to just teach that part. So we have to see that it's not just only the education this body will address. This body will address their need, what is at with requirement of industry, what is requirement of the future leadership, what is the requirement of advocacy with the government. So it's not just only the university interaction with the university. It's the whole lot of job this body can do. I was so moved when I was invited to speak at AIMS by a student body. Professional bodies don't do that. The student body is conducting a big conference and a beautiful conference that provided a beautiful platform. And that is what we need to see happening in all the schools, which lacks, unfortunately. So we have to rise beyond and see not as a kind of conflict between the university or UGC. You all know that our standard of curriculum and teaching are not same. I go to some of the institutions. It's my passion to visit every institute wherever I visit, and I see some of the optometry institutions in the country who have less instruments than an optical shop. Than an optical shop, I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. An optical shop will have more instruments than an optometry institution in the country, and I can name it. But because they have the political understanding, they get UGC permissions, and they are not challenged by anyone. Only sufferer is either the student or the name of optometry or the profession at large. So we have to see that those students have a voice. It's not necessarily that they entered into that institution because they knew about it. It's because they may not have privilege. That may be the only institute in that particular region, that particular state. So they have no option. So we have to see their point of view and take everybody together, because even if we pass, even if we just follow 1 or 2 years ahead, we are going to follow with the one exam for the whole country. That's uniform exit exam. How are we going to cope up? So this student body is immediate need of the hour. If any of the optometry educators have not seen, they should go back to American Optometry Student Association. It's a very powerful body in the United States. Formed not today, 50 years back in 1968. Go and read what they do. It will be very educating for all the educators to see how this body has come closer to the profession. Professional associations have taken the profession forward, and that is what we need to duplicate in India. Student movement is very important, and I would suggest that from every region we get one nomination from from a student who is ready to take this process forward in that state. And I would suggest that somebody like Monica or somebody who heads makes a platform for educators who are willing to cooperate with this movement. There is a need, yes, it has to be done. It's not a time to debate just whether we should do it or not. It's already been done by one school, they will do another school also, whether we are with them or not with them. So we have to be with them, we have to guide them. And those educators who feel that yes, it is important should come and participate and help. Maybe your institution is very good, but there could be one underprivileged institution in other state of the country who needs your help. So your liability is as an educator is not lies only with your institution, but with some other student of another institutions too. And that's what I want you to wake up and broaden your horizon of teaching. And I'm sorry if I use a wrong word here, but think about more passionately towards other schools who don't have the same privileges what you have. So I would give it to Monica.
I fully agree with you. In fact, both the points very well. I think we need to clarify. We're not bringing in something which is like just political or politics into education, something which we are thinking had been happening in the recent past. We are looking at expanding the education forum and bringing it to all. Like some of the webinars that we did in the past, we could have curtailed it to our own institution by bringing in the expert, but we brought it to everybody, thinking that anybody sitting anywhere. And now with technologies, we can bring that here. Second point, as you said, the students' conferences. Whenever we have a national optometry conference, the student voice is subdued. We need to bring in them also. We need to encourage them to be as part of the speakers. So there has to be a separate students educator. Third point will be very well said, that the industry ready, the student, the curriculum, of course, we are bound by UGC. We have to teach what we have been asked to by the minimum program or the curriculum that has been drafted. But time is changing. In fact, the first thing that we need to do now is redo our curriculums with the post-COVID times. And that is where telemedicine becomes very important to teach all that part of it. So industry ready, and institution heads also are bound by academic council, a process. We cannot even change a single thing in the curriculum. But what we can do, the additional knowledge can keep going on with the help of this common resource pool, which is beyond the university teaching and classroom, bringing in latest techniques, teaching them all. And I think here with us, we should now move on to Dr. Natarajan, because he's been running an institution, he's been an educator, he's volunteered, and he has taught us so many things in the past few weeks that he had been. So I would request him to bring in his thoughts about this. And then again, I will forward it back to Siddharth. Because Siddharth, you made your points. I want you to again reinforce them and bring them back. Over to you, Dr. Natarajan.
Ma'am, one minute, I think Pungathai from Tamil Nadu wish to say something.
Okay, we'll have Pungathai ji speaking in after Dr. Natarajan then. Let Dr. Natarajan speak in first, and then Dr.
Thank you, Monica. I actually came only as an observer, so I didn't want to interfere with your discussions. And I think I love teaching, and that's the reason I myself volunteered, but I didn't know what was I read the messages, but I think I didn't draft, but I think I understood what's going on. And I'm ready to, I saw the messages also. I really don't know, because I was suddenly exposed to whatever you're discussing. So I think I only can say I love to teach, and I even now Hamza is there in the group. Last 3 weeks back, I called him and asked him, why are you not arranging a class by me for the third edition? Already the questions are over and there's no time, he said. I said, all right. So I said, at least I arrange some general talk by me. But anyway, I love to be with them. And every time I insist and I meet when they join the optometry, because I believe in, what is that called, orientation, and which is done for the regular employee. I do it for the students also. And I think for me, I think whatever I'm running is like a river of knowledge. Everybody should drink as much as they can. So I think Hamza has got a free hand to do whatever he wants to do for teaching, and he knows that I always want to support him. And we have our same problems like the institution for recognition with MUHS, which anyway, it's not the forum to.
So you're right to say, sir, our teachers were ophthalmologists. Our generation was taught by ophthalmology. And whatever is to happen in the eye care, there has to be a synchronization between ophthalmology and optometry.
My
We
mental
need to bring in. Universities cannot afford to have too many ophthalmologists teaching. So we need to bring in a common pool of ophthalmologists because ophthalmologists are busy with their own work. To get them into every institution separately is a problem. But 1 hour and every institution takes the advantage is something that we are looking at that kind of forum.
I think that I agree. I think the question of orientation, it is like I'm pushing research also. I'm telling Oli and Hamza that we should do some international publication.
Yes.
Every international publication of mine has an optometrist. Like last year, the top 5 in JAMA in the whole year ranked is by Ashwini Roge. She's an optometry student from one of the earlier batches, and she's working in the Dharavi slums from 2006. And the other one is Manish Sonavane. And I think they both, Manish Sonavane is a great worker. He only works, he doesn't publish. Ashwini is great. She works in the, but I think during this also we are writing article in Lancet. And so I'm pushing Hitesh and Oli now to dig all my oculotroma. The optometrists only fill it up in our hospital, where we are even had a Zoom meeting with our.
Fully agree. We fully agree, sir. The research has to be together.
Those are involved with. I don't think all are involved, but I think I promote that, and I'm happy that there will be a lot of ophthalmologists all over India will be interested in teaching optometry students, and I believe because I follow Swami Vivekananda, and he always believed the youth of India in 1890s, which is true today also, because we have 2/3 of India, that is 65%. Below the age of 35, and all the optometrists comes under that. And I'm glad. I think even ophthalmology, Young Ophthalmic Society of India is also very active. There are 5,000 ophthalmologists under the Young Ophthalmology. Same thing. I think every optometrist will be young, so you don't have to have a separate society. But I think you can have, all of you are the future India, and I think whatever people have expressed, there is going to be a difference. And I think one lesson here is there is everybody is written politely. There is an expectation from the teacher and an expectation from the student. I think matching is very important. And we are coming from the Gurukula time. That means when we went to, I think the Gurukula olden days is, they won't have a curriculum. The curriculum is in the mind of the teacher. And he will decide to teach only when the student is dedicated. But here we are governed by UGC or whatever, Optometric Council, Medical Council. And I think apart from the number of hours and each subject, I think we have to have, I think that's why the exams are conducted, to know the knowledge. And I think we have to make sure, I actually insist to Hamza also to involve students from first year to be involved with the patients, but he thinks that we are making the students work for the patient. I said, no, we don't need optometry students to do the ophthalmology work or eye hospital work. But I want them to be exposed as an active member along. I think just now Ajit mentioned about patient care. I think finally, whether you're an optometrist or an ophthalmologist or a paramedical worker, you're going to deal with a human being who has an eye problem. So I think we all have to be trained for that. And I think that compassionate medicine, which Dr. Abdul Kalam gave me the book called Compassionate Medicine, written by first the Dalai Lama called Rinpoche and Dr. Shlim. I think everybody should read it. How to be compassionate with the patient, whether it's a simple refraction. I think it's important, because if you 0.25 cylinder with a different axis can make a difference for 1 out of 100 patients, not every patient. I think you can use autorefractor. And finally, the subjective is very important. And you do the trial. That's why we do the PMT in the, I think the old teaching, which is there in Ducal refraction and which is there from my grandfather's time, holds good in spite of all the instrumentation, as Ajit mentioned. We have to have both the clinical acumen, using all the technology available. And I am also open, for example, some instruments not there. I'm ready to send my students to anywhere where that particular instrument is available to go and see. And which is, I think, each institute should do, even between the optometry institute, between the ophthalmic institutes. I think we all allow observership. I think Oli came from Calcutta, right, Oli?
Yes, sir, right.
So we had an extra from all other states. Suddenly, because some one student is impressed with the one college, and they all come. And I'm glad my last 15 years of my father's life, he died at the age of 89 in 2015. He was only working for optometrists. He was fighting with me as the head of the institution on behalf of Oli, and Hamza was not there at that time, maybe with Prant and Tanuja and other people, where he was fighting, representing the optometrists. He was sitting on the optometrist side in the hospital also. Correct, Oli?
Yes.
So I think we are there, and I think it's in my blood. The third generation, I'm in ophthalmology and optometry.
So your blessings are there. We will definitely be
Sure.
taking it.
I'm there for everything, and I think Hamza has to add or whatever minus whatever I said. Hamza.
Okay, we'll first have Pugatai and then Ollie. Let Hamza Thing reply to Dr. Natarajan and come back. Okay, Pugatai, would you like to talk in?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go.
Hello, am I audible? Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Represent Registered Association of Optometrists of Tamil Nadu called OATN. And I'm also the president of Elite School of Optometry Alumni Association. So first thing is, I would like to express my cooperation on behalf of both the associations that we are ready to do anything for this students optometry group, all India. Regarding training and infrastructure and the facilities and everything, I understand from my so long years of experience that training is very, very important. Just even to use your 10 magical fingers to pick a brain tumor or a glioma from a basic confrontation test to interpreting results of sophisticated equipments like OCT or anything, training by experts is very, very important for students. And when we could do that from the beginning, from the first year or even the during basic optometry course, then the expertise will multiply into many folds as they gain their experience when they practice optometry. So for all this, I think we have to use the platform, and people like us, we should be ready to extend our support. So I'm very happy to do that. And secondly, regarding Siddharth, I would like to mention here that he is the son of our Vice President Karthikeyan sir. So his roots are with us. So I want to proudly share that fact. He is also our member. Siddharth is also an OATN member. And so I'm very proud to be here in this platform when he is leading the top group. Thank you.
I think that's the right thought you brought in. So if the associations support in this kind of education platforms, then this is what we actually are looking forward to. The success can only be when all the associations, and as the student passes out, it is the platform of the association now where he joins in and brings it forward. I think we are hearing most of the points and getting into it, but I would request again now Siddharth to come in and sum up. You started with the thought. Can you actually also, before, of course, the final summing up we will have from Ajit sir, but if you can say whatever you brought in, do you think that is shaping up and you see that there is a hope towards all this? Siddharth.
So before he does, I just wanted to only compliment, thanks to Pungoday, we run an NS Sundaram Eye Center in what do you call Chennai Science Center, which is there in Adayar, which is called Periyar Science Center. And thanks to Elite School of Optometry and Pungoday, I think after that I didn't meet her for some time. And then later she expressed her difficulty of getting students to come and do the. So now we are paying the Shankaranathala Academy, where the optometrists come. Only because of lockdown, we are not working. Otherwise, thanks to Dr. Sheila John and the SN Academy, we are having daily optometrists running the free vision screening and color vision screening at Science Center. Thanks to Pungode for making sure we got a slit lamp, we got a ECRS chart, we have a lot of exhibits. So I think thanks to my father, because he's there for last, from 2000, I think, the exhibition. And last 20 years, there are a lot of optometrists. I remember Saranya, then various names from Tamil Nadu who helped me. And I think thanks to Pungode, for a long time, I didn't meet you. And you lost weight, Pungode. I think I met several, 3 years back, I think.
Yes, doctor.
Food, you should eat more. Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely meet, doctor. Thank you.
Okay. So Siddharth, I think wherever we started, I'd request you to take that now. Whom do you think can lead and what is the kind of concept you bring in after listening to some of them? Of course, we had very few students who came forward, probably because they see a galaxy of these educators whom they don't want to be coming in front. But that's not what we want. This is your forum, and we want to encourage you all to bring in. So over to you, Siddharth, and then to Ajit sir to sum it up, because I know we've exceeded our time a little bit. And this is the beginning forum only. We have a lot more to talk ahead. Let's see you hear from both of you again.
So what I see is it is a positive thing which we see it in the future. It is like we can bring it forward and then we can form it. So it is I just take the student side at this time. So it is like we have comments from faculties that it is like students are more asking for notes than understanding. This is like child always craze, and they are always, that's what a student is. So it is like when what I say is, what I believe is, the students are the one how a teacher is. It is like if a teacher is going to be interested in research, they are again going to be motivated towards research. If he or she is a good CL practitioner, they will be interested toward that. It is like so I always feel student is a replica of a faculty. So it is like so it's about to it's in the hands of faculty how we can mold them. And one more thing is, and this is like the problem with students is going to be there with every institute. At the same time, few things which I want to bring it upon here is, there's like students join institute. In many institute, it is like this. They just give a glimpse of things that they over a word, and then they don't even show, and then they join, and then they think it is like this is how it is going to be the entire nation. So that is the issue which I want to take it up. So it is that's why I said in the previous stage, it is like at the introduction itself, I said it is like as an employee, many faculties or any practitioners are not able to help. So, and it is like only when a student knows what is good and bad, they will be only when they are exposed to what is good and bad, they will be able to take a decision of what is good. It is if they are studying in a college where there is no infrastructure, what they think is that is how it is going to be. When they see something good, only that is the point where they ask something for their own rights. So it is like and as I said before, students should know politics and they should not be influenced by them. So that is the only thing which I want to keep on at this forum. And so it is like there are many institute, it is like they students who doesn't even know how to bring their problems out. So this huge manpower, when they form association, will at least finds a way for them to take the problems out and then bring it to the world. So that is the only thing which I want to conclude here.
So Siddharth, what we now need to do is, in fact, I see that the voice of students has not come forward so much, and the beautiful work of Rashid is already there. It's simply because we were too many of them, and there was a bias in the group today probably, and we had more of the educators sitting in. But what we are here today is to support and bring in the students. So we need to form a method now where students come together. And I again repeat, we are not looking at something at the national level, what happens in JNUs or Jamias or other places. We are not here at all as educators to encourage any such activity which brings in indiscipline in the nation or in the university. We all will stand against it and we will curb it out. We clearly want to state this to all students. We are not wanting you to do that, and we will not let you do that. We are here as seniors and mentors to help you in your education, and that's what we really think about. And that's where we want to come forward, and that's what we want you to come forward and ask us also. So over to you, Ajit sir.
Well, I think there is a process of moving it forward. And what I see is this, that we need to create two pools today. One pool of students from 7, like maybe from 6, what I said, one could be Rashid or somebody from AIMS, where the professional association of students exist, and maybe 6 regions to support him, to give a feedback. And there could be another pool of educators whereby there could be Monica or somebody heading that, and there could be 5 or 6 regions from, of educators coming from each regions, and what they think about it, and how do we take students and educators viewpoint together. Educators, we should also include some of the ophthalmologists, which Dr. Natarajan has voluntarily come forward and enlightened us about it. We will need a pool of educators for optometrists and ophthalmologists too. So we request the help of educators, and then we leave it to Rashid and 6 volunteers coming from each region, whereby they will take this process forward. And we will be coming back for another progress on this, maybe in another 15 days, 20 days time, and see how we have done and what we have done. So thank you very much. It has, can we do that today? I don't think, is it possible today, or they will take some time to do that? Is it possible, Monica? We can volunteer.
We would love to have, if somebody wishes to volunteer in the different regions and tries to take in a lead in that region, we would love to hear those names, because it's very difficult getting everybody, and time is precious. Lockdowns are opening. We'll be back to our work also. All of us, exams are scheduled in the university. So if there is a student team who's ready from particular region, you can announce it now as a volunteer to come forward, or it can be later, or Rashid can lead it and approach the different regions and check out who all love. So we again reinforce the fact that the theme here is bringing in a common pool of education and streaming it up. And yes, solving genuine problems. We will not encourage any kind of indiscipline or unrest among the students. Local problems are to be solved at the local level, as Dr. Vishal said, that it is that problems which will be there. This body will not and should not as an objective interfere with any other institution like this. The aim and objectives have to be clearly defined. We need to bring in a industry ready student. We need to bring in preparedness for the future of the exit exam. And that's what we want to come in. So if anybody is wishing, please raise your hand, come forward, or put it in it. There is a team. Okay, there is somebody. There are already volunteer names pouring in. The Malika is talking in. She wants to volunteer as a leader. Then we have Pratyash, who is volunteering from Chandigarh University, Punjab. So there are few who would like to come forward. It's lovely to see that. And please, you may go back to your universities, to friends, and many more who have not joined. Send us these names, and we will try to bring in that leadership then. I think, Ajit sir, people are wanting to volunteer, and we're already getting some names in it.
So I think it would be better that
we'll open up those names again.
Yeah, what I would request all of you, please communicate with Siddharth, and we will stay in touch, and we'll get back to you. Please, all people who are keen to take the process forward, all educators who wants to help in this cause, please connect with Siddharth, because he was the nodal point in it. And we have too much on our sides to handle. So I would request Siddharth to take this process forward, and we will come back to you that these are the people, and we'll announce you soon that these are the people from each region who will be taking this movement forward. And I'm very sure that in time to come, maybe within few months time, we will have a National Student Association, which will definitely a big achievement in future of optometry in India. And I look forward to that to happen. And we will aggressively work. We will provide our support in terms of education, lobbying, advocacy, whatever this body needs from us. Thank you very much. And I think we'll close.
It's wonderful to see volunteers, but Siddharth, as you can see, you need to flash in your contact details as nodal point.
Siddharth, if you can give your mobile number.
I already messaged, sir.
Yeah.
But
so
maybe put
post
you on
it,
the group.
and Ollie, you can.
Yeah, I'll just put it on my.
Yeah, please post that even in the YouTube
Yeah,
also. And second, you will also work on the objectives,
Yeah.
which can be brought forward. So you can take reference of the Students Association and can bring in the objectives. So wonderful. Thank you, everybody. And the first thank you is to Oli, without him, whom we wouldn't have done it. And what I see today, Ajit sir, you're probably the first batch of AIMS. We started with you, and now we have Rashid, who's so far the last batch today, passing out. So AIMS is highly, I would say, in the leadership qualities, bringing in those things from first batch to the last till we lead.
Well, I would put it the other way, it has to be collective leadership. It's not an institution that will be responsible. We have to see that each and every institution, each and every region in the country has to represent in such a way that he has time to lead this body in rotation or in a way that everybody has equal right and equal say in this body. We don't want it to be dominated by AIMS or any other institute of North or South. It has to be a body for every optometry student in the country.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring in that point. It is not AIMS.
Yeah.
But I would say Siddharth Karthikeyan has a name which is a national name. Siddharth is very much a North Indian part, and Karthikeyan is so he brings in the nation together with that name. So he represents it. So thank you.
Before we end up, ma'am, there are probably comments from Professor Vishal and then Professor Usman and Professor Nagaraj.
Yeah, please read them out.
So can you hear them asked today or next for the?
You can read out the comments, or you would like to.
Okay,
so what are we calling it, Siddharth? What are we calling this forum then? You want to name this forum also today?
Yeah, so Professor Vishal is online now. Can you come?
As very rightly pointed out by Ajit sir, that we have to look after the other unprivileged or not as. Sir, we are always ready to help in our region. You give us an opportunity.
Thank you so much.
That is a very noble thought, sir. And I was thinking for last 15-20 minutes that what is the depth of the point which you have raised, which is very, very important. It's a uniform body and we will have to contribute much more than being in our comfort zone. So we are always there, sir, as far as the Western region is concerned.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All the best.
Yeah, can you, Professor Usman, sir?
Usman, you would like to bring in? Yes.
Yes, always there in support with this association. Probably this would change tomorrow of optometry in India. So whenever I am required, please call me. I might just call distance away. And if possible, I would also bring in ASCO to help out many aspects which are connected to the education and university aspect. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm reading out Professor Nagaraju's comment. So he, I think for the questions that has come out from the students and the educators, both the aspect. So who are the complainers? Is the institutes run by private colleges or like hospitals or NGOs or proper university affiliated colleges?
I think we don't. I think we don't take this up right now. Let the student association come up. Let's not be involved in this right now. Only we will not like to answer. And Usman, आप तो मना भी नहीं कर सकते थे. आपको तो हम वैसे ही लेके आ जाते. आपको volunteer करने की बात ही नहीं थी. आपको आना ही था.
I appreciate all. You see, I appreciate all the educators to volunteer their support, and we look forward to more of them. We will appreciate help from ASCO. We are not a body, because we are not a political body here. We are just a forum of volunteers. So we are just there to help these students. So we have to rise beyond what we have been doing so far and see that student body which is created, and look at the institutions which don't have access of good educators like you. You can give this. By now the technology has evolved so much that by your 1 hour, just so many institutions can be helped. So we have to have that approach and take this moment forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So Siddharth, you have a lot of work to go ahead now with. So I know the leadership is in your genes and you'll take it, and you're one of the young leaders we look forward to. So take this ahead.
I think he's still a student. He's still a student. So he has that, in his blood and in his veins. So I think he will do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay home. Till
Thank you. All the best. Thank you.
all.
No, we're not staying home now. We have to go back to work now.
Mumbai, we can't. We are still till 31st May, most likely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, everybody. Good day.